So, without further ado, ça me fait plaisir de vous présenter l'homme de la situation, la personne qui va nous présenter la stratégie automobile. Without further ado, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you. Thank you very much, Minister Joly, Minister de Bruzen, caucus colleagues. Let me just start. This is a great day. It is a great day. It's always a good day to be back at Martinrea. I want to just thank the team here, Rob, Fred, Venkata, all the team here. This is an extraordinary Canadian success story. This is a great day because we're celebrating a couple of births. We are celebrating the birthday of Rob Wildeboer. Because of Flavio Volpe's many contributions, we are celebrating the birthday or the unveiling of the Aero 2.0, which shows what the future of automotive in Canada is. And we're celebrating the future of the world's greatest auto industry. We are here where Canada Strong is forged every day. This company, nearly 20,000 skilled workers come together to build the engine blocks, the transmission housings, the control arms, the future that helps drive our auto industry and our economy. And as you just heard, but you know this, you just heard from the minister, this is a pivotal moment both for the industry and our economy. We know that U.S. tariffs have upended the bargain that's existed for as long as I've lived. It's put our workers, our businesses, our country under a cloud of uncertainty. We also know, you see some of the innovation here, we know that the global auto sector is being radically transformed. Rapid shifts towards lower emissions, towards greater connectivity, towards even more advanced manufacturing. So the decisions that Canada makes now will shape careers, communities, and our economies for decades to come. And we will not miss this opportunity. A confident Canada, like a confident Martinrea, confident Canada, is making the strategic decisions and the generational investments today to build the affordable, enjoyable, and low emissions automobiles of the future. As Minister Joly just said, Canada is an auto nation. The auto industry is central to our story. In fact, the first automobile manufactured here was in the year of Confederation, 1867, in Stansted, Quebec. Henry Seth Taylor built the first Canadian-made automobile. The Taylor steam buggy was powered by a simple coal boiler and mounted on a wagon wheel carriage. It was a one-off, hand-built machine, never intended for mass production, but it proved Canadian-made automobiles are possible. 158 years on, the auto industry is the core pillar of the Canadian economy. More than 500,000 Canadians wake up every morning, go to work, and bring home a paycheck because we make cars in this country. Entire communities have been built around car plants. Cities, towns, Windsor, Alston, two examples, the auto sector remains the largest employer. Aujourd'hui, l'industrie automobile canadienne est l'une des plus importantes au monde. Une grande partie de ce succès découle de nos relations commerciales étroites avec les États-Unis, établies au fil des décennies de coopération dans les villes automobiles des deux côtés de la frontière. There's no greater symbol of how closely the Canadian and American economies have been intertwined than automobiles. The average car is built from parts that travel across our border up to 8 times before landing on the showroom floor. 90% of Canada's finished vehicles, 60% of our auto parts are exported to the United States. But that trade relationship that once was a great strength has now become a serious vulnerability. Now, I want to be clear. Canada still has the best deal of any U.S. trading partner, with 85% of our trade with the United States remaining tariff-free and the lowest average tariff rate in the world. And as we prepare for the joint review of CUSMA that will begin later this year, Canada's new government remains focused on protecting this unique Canadian advantage. Our objective is to remove all tariffs in the auto sector to build the strongest North American auto sector. That's what we will build together. But we recognize that that is not the current objective of the U.S. administration. Their approach has changed, it's their right, so we have to prepare for all possibilities. We must take care of ourselves. Nous ne pouvons pas contrôler ce que font les autres. Nous pouvons contrôler ce que nous faisons et ce que nous bâtissons. Et nous bâtissons une économie canadienne plus forte, plus résiliente et plus indépendante. Nous avons mis en place de nouvelles mesures stratégiques pour les travailleurs et les entreprises dans les secteurs plus touchés par les tarifs américains et les bouleversements commerciaux. Ces initiatives aident les travailleurs des secteurs de l'acier, de l'aluminium, de la forestière et d'autres secteurs stratégiques du Canada à acquérir de nouvelles compétences. Ils aideront également les entreprises à s'adapter et à diversifier leurs produits.
The Offspring. Supercharged.
The most comprehensive set of trade resilience measures in Canada's history. We've moved fast, and we're already seeing results. Our measures have created and protected 18,000 jobs across steel, aluminum, lumber, and the auto sector. Our government has already implemented the most comprehensive set of trade resilience measures in Canada's history. We've moved fast, and we're already seeing results. Our measures have created and protected 18,000 jobs across steel, aluminum, lumber, and the auto sector. They've prevented more than 20,000 layoffs. We've unlocked almost $1 billion in private investment by small and medium-sized businesses. We provided income supports for more than 6,000 workers, with a total of 190,000 more expected to benefit, including in the auto sector. Nos travailleurs sont le moteur de notre économie. Alors que nous transformons nos industries face aux mesures commerciales prises par les États-Unis, nous nous assurons que le travailleur canadien puisse avoir les outils nécessaires pour accomplir cette transformation. The future of the auto industry is increasingly electric and connected. And so to remain competitive and to realize our potential, we must develop the entire value chain for next-generation vehicles, harnessing Canada's exceptional capabilities in auto production, including the world's greatest workforce, including globally recognized parts suppliers and leading-edge research and development. We'll combine these strengths with new battery supply chains that will power the future of mobility, reinforced by Canada's IT expertise, world-leading AI and robotics technologies, to position Canada as a global leader in vehicle electrification and autonomous technologies. In the coming weeks, our government will unveil a new electricity strategy to double, I'll repeat, to double our grid capacity, to modernize our infrastructure and to deliver electricity that's more reliable, more efficient, crucially more affordable for Canadians. This will enable Canadians to adopt low-carbon technologies such as electric vehicles while supporting the electrification and growth of our industries. With our deep talent, thank you. With our deep talent, our research strengths, our innovation ecosystem, we can lead the development of the connected and autonomous technologies that will shape the future of transportation. We will prioritize diversification, including new opportunities that will be created by Canada's defense industrial strategy to strengthen the industry and its supply chains while leveraging our existing trade agreements around the world. Les travailleurs et les industries du Canada sont bien placés pour saisir cette occasion. Nous réalisons des investissements générationnels dans les minéraux critiques, incluant ceux qui sont essentiels à la fabrication des batteries, pour garantir notre place dans les chaînes d'approvisionnement les plus importantes au monde. Le Canada sera l'un des seuls pays au monde à disposer de tout ce qui est nécessaire à une chaîne d'approvisionnement complète en batteries pour véhicules électriques. Nous disposons d'un réseau électrique propre à 80% et les coûts d'électricité résidentielle les plus bas et les coûts d'électricité industrielle le deuxième plus bas du G7. So, we have everything we need to take the lead in the vehicles of tomorrow. And we're positioning Canadian workers and businesses to seize that opportunity. That's why today we're announcing a series of strategic investments that will shape the future of mobility and advance manufacturing in Canada as part of a coordinated plan to build a stronger, more competitive, more independent country. Our strategy rests on 5 pillars. First, accelerating investment in Canadian auto manufacturing. Second, rationalizing emission reduction policies to focus on the outcomes that matter to Canadians. Third, strengthening domestic demand by making electric vehicles more affordable and reliable for Canadians. Fourth, establishing a comprehensive trade regime that strengthens the competitiveness of our auto sector. And fifth, protecting Canadian auto workers from the immediate pressures while helping them bridge to the future. So let me get into a few of those details, and I'll take questions. First, we're accelerating investment across the auto value chain. To support strategic investments by our companies, we're dedicating $3 billion from the Strategic Response Fund and $100 million from the Regional Tariff Response Initiative. This is capital that will help our businesses respond to those trade disruptions, help them pivot their operations, retool plants to increase productivity, invest in advanced manufacturing, and expand into new markets. In line with our Buy Canadian policy, the government will leverage these investments to maximize opportunities for Canadian suppliers, Canadian-made goods and services, including in steel and aluminum. We're also implementing the most comprehensive investment incentives for the auto value chain anywhere in the world. The new productivity superdeduction will reduce Canada's marginal effective tax rate on investment to 13%. That's more than 4 percentage points lower than in the United States. That means and let me be clear, this is very broad. It means businesses can immediately expense 100% of their investments in manufacturing machinery, in equipment, in buildings, in zero-emission vehicles, in clean energy equipment, in scientific research and development, in productivity-enhancing assets, including patents, data network infrastructure, computers, and beyond. Further, in addition, because this is in addition, to accelerate investment across the low-carbon mobility value chain, we're implementing the Clean Electricity Investment Tax Credit. We're expanding the Clean Technology Manufacturing Investment Tax Credit, and we're including a wide range of critical minerals. And we are reducing the tax rate for zero-emission technology manufacturers so they benefit from 1/2 of the normal corporate tax rate, and that is before these deductions. Put simply, we're making Canada the best place to invest, the best place to build, the best place to build clean. Our second pillar is to adapt our emission reduction policies to focus on outcomes. Canada will set a new, more ambitious, sovereign path to reduce automobile emissions. We'll drive down emissions by more than doubling the stringency of Canada's vehicle GHG standards by 2035, achieving the equivalent emissions reductions of a 75% EV adoption rate. We won't stop there. By leveraging new investments in EV production, consumer incentives, and charging infrastructure, we'll work towards achieving the equivalent of a 90% EV adoption rate by 2040. The more stringent emission standards will enable the Government of Canada to repeal the Electric Vehicle Accessibility Standard, so-called EVAS. Replacing EVAS with those stronger vehicle emission standards focuses on the results that matter to Canadians, while avoiding placing undue burdens on the Canadian auto industry. This approach allows
It's all the time. We put
and to respond to consumer preferences in the near term, avoiding placing undue burdens on the Canadian auto industry. This approach allows manufacturers to use a wide range of technology to meet the standards and to respond to consumer preferences in the near term, all while driving EV adoption over time. The third way we will transform our auto sector is by becoming our own best customer. Au cours des 5 prochaines années, les ventes de véhicules électriques devraient représenter plus de 40% de toutes les ventes de voitures dans le monde. Aujourd'hui, près de 80% des véhicules électriques produits dans le monde proviennent de Chine et des États-Unis. Le Canada ne peut pas se permettre de rester avec les bras croisés. Les véhicules électriques sont l'avenir et notre gouvernement est déterminé à faire en sorte que cet avenir soit bâti par des travailleurs canadiens, fabriqués dans des usines canadiennes et propulsés par des voitures canadiennes. In a strong domestic market, and we have a strong domestic market, we can buy what we build. And so the government that's why our government is launching a new $2.3 billion electric vehicle affordability program. Canadians who purchase or lease a battery electric or fuel cell electric vehicle will receive up to $5,000 and up to $2,500 for plug-in hybrids priced up to $50,000. To support the Canadian auto industry, this $50,000 cap will not apply to Canadian-made EVs or Canadian-made plug-in hybrids. And those incentives will only apply to vehicles produced in countries with whom Canada has a free trade agreement. We're also going to make it easier and more convenient for Canadians to charge their EVs, because too many Canadians worry about being able to reliably get charging on journeys, especially in rural and northern communities. To help fix that, we're developing a new national charging infrastructure, a new strategy, $1.5 billion of investment through the Canadian Infrastructure Bank. So wherever you live in Canada, charging your vehicle should become as simple as filling your gas tank. The fourth pillar of our strategy is to establish a comprehensive trade regime that strengthens the global competitiveness of our auto sector. Again, to be clear, Canada continues to favor a zero tariff regime with the United States in autos because we know that will deliver the strongest North American auto industry. But if the U.S., through the CUSMA review, insists on some form of auto tariffs, we'll ensure that companies that sell vehicles in Canada are strongly incentivized to produce in Canada. And to support this objective, we will explore strengthening our automotive remissions framework through a tradable credit system that would reward companies that produce and invest in Canada. In short, companies that manufacture and invest here would earn credits, while companies seeking to sell vehicles in Canada without paying tariffs would be required to purchase those credits. Pour exploiter pleinement le potentiel de ces mesures, le Canada doit tirer parti de ces partenariats internationaux afin d'accéder à de nouveaux marchés mondiaux. Le Canada a déjà conclu des accords de libre-échange avec 51 pays qui représentent 1,5 milliard de consommateurs. Notre gouvernement poursuit dans cette voie et a déjà conclu 12 nouveaux partenariats commerciaux et sécuritaires sur 4 continents en seulement 6 mois. Our recent agreement with China will allow a limited number of EVs from China to enter the Canadian market, fewer than 50,000 a year in a market of 1.8 million cars. This will help provide Canadians with more affordable, energy-efficient options. At the same time, we expect this agreement to catalyze considerable joint venture investment in Canada with trusted Canadian partners to create new auto manufacturing jobs and strengthen the build-out of our EV supply chain. Finally, as we transform our auto sector into a global leader in electric vehicles, we're working to protect workers and businesses today so they can bridge to the economy of tomorrow. We're providing additional income support to workers and to employers through a new work-sharing grant, giving them the flexibility that employers need to retain workers and prevent layoffs. This has already helped prevent more than 3,700 layoffs in the auto sector alone. We're also establishing a new workforce alliance, bringing together industry, labor, training partners to address skill gaps, remove bottlenecks, and catalyze private investment. We're launching the Automotive Task Force to drive coordinated action between our government and the province of Ontario to build the cars of the future. We're breaking down barriers and working together across government, industry, and labor with shared focus on delivery. Ensemble, ces nouvelles mesures forment une nouvelle stratégie qui permettra à notre industrie automobile de faire du Canada une chef de file mondiale de la production de véhicules électriques. Et nous nous concentrons sur ce que nous pouvons contrôler et aidons le secteur automobile canadien ainsi que les travailleurs et les communautés qui en dépendent à s'adapter, à être compétitifs et à réussir. When Henry Seth Taylor built Canada's first car, he could not have imagined what this industry would become. The Canadian automakers would assemble the world's first affordable car, the Ford Model T. That Canadian automakers would scale up production rapidly to become the second largest producer of cars in the world by the end of the First World War. That in World War II, the industry would quickly shift almost entirely to military production, producing more than 800,000 military transport vehicles and 50,000 tanks to help win that war. These feats were the result of Canadian determination and ingenuity. They were the product of an industry that adapted, pivoted, and when necessary, transform. That's what we must now do to build the vehicles of the future. Lower emission, autonomous, more reliable, more affordable vehicles. For a stronger, more resilient, more independent Canadian economy that creates great jobs here at home. That is what we are building together. That is a confident Canada. That is Canada Strong. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Merci, Monsieur le Premier ministre.